Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel to another episode of our Atlantic Navigators franchise mode in NHL 20. We're already at episode 9, almost 10 episodes in. We are starting off year number 4 in the franchise mode. As you guys can see on the screen, of course, the big addition here, Capo Caco. This will be our first full season with the young, amazing star, formerly of the New York Rangers, who we got in that Torrey Krug trade. Now, first things first, we do need to assign our new captain. Of course, with Torrey Krug gone. In the previous episode, we went through the draft and free agency. We actually got some pretty good picks. A lot of defensemen, got some goalies, some elite players, some elite potential players as well. Anthony Duclair is no longer on the team, so we'll have to assign a new assistant captain as well. I already done so I'm going to show you guys who the next captain, the second captain of the Atlantic Navigators is Sammy Blais. He is our captain for the team. I'm going to go over the reasonings why in a few moments when I go through the lines. Mike Hoffman is going to be assistant captain number 1 and Hayden Fleury assistant captain number 2. So the reasoning behind this, I didn't want originally Hoffman being the captain, but he's 32 and has 3 years left on his contract. So chances are he won't be on our team in 5 years' time or so, even before that. Sammy Blais, he's 26 years old. He's a great player, 84 overall. He's locked up for another 5 years, so we're definitely looking to have him carry the team moving forward. He was one of the players we got in the expansion draft, so it does make sense. Mike Hoffman, he's an assistant captain, being 32. He's a good veteran presence. Another player we got in the expansion draft, as well as Hayden Fleury. We got him in the expansion draft as well. I did want to have a bit of leadership on the back end. Hayden Fleury, one of our top defensemen. He's locked up for another 4 years. So that's going to be the leadership group heading into year number 4. And this is a look at the lines. Really happy with the lines. A lot of balance there. Really happy with the lines. They're really balanced. With the +1, Jordan Wheeler is our lowest overall. He's actually at 80 overall right now, which is pretty solid for a 4th line. Defense, everyone here on the top 4 has a +3, which is fantastic. And in the previous episode, we were able to lock up our elite goaltender. He's not just elite potential, elite goalie role. 87 overall at 26 years old. Thatcher Demko. We have him on a contract for 5 years. He's making $7 million as an elite goaltender. You compare that to the contracts of Price or Bobrovsky. That is an absolute steal. Vezina winner Thatcher Demko. He had the Vezina in the 21-22 season. Hopefully the first of many for our young goaltender who we got from the Vancouver Canucks. Really excited to jump into this episode. Hopefully get ourselves our first playoff run. I really think that this year we have the team to do it. I am confident. Let's jump into the season. Get things going for our team. Now, Howard Falk, our head coach, I want to go over this quickly with you guys. 64% T-fit. Hayden Fleury is a perfect fit for our coach. Look at that. The rest of the team looking pretty good. So I'm really happy for our coach. He does really like Travis Hickey as well. So there's Howard Falk. We are looking to get one more coach for a goaltending coach in the NHL. We did lose out on him. So just something quickly we'll have to do there. Let's go into the preseason first to see how the team does. We actually get a big trade offer here. Philip Forsberg was down to an 80 overall at 28 years old. He's making 8.2. They want us to give Dougie Hamilton, which is one of our better defensemen. No thanks, LA. Here we go, guys. Our first game of the year facing off against the Buffalo Sabres at home on a Sunday, October 16th. So a bit of a late start to the year, all the way to the 16th for the start. Let's sim the game here. Hopefully the guys can start off the year on the right note. We start off at a back-to-back against the Sabres and the Flyers. Here we are at the Avenir Center, Atlantic Navigators versus Buffalo. After the first period, there is no goal. Defensive matchup. 10-7 the shots. Let's sim up the second period. It's actually 2-1. So Nishushkin gets his first goal as an Atlantic Navigator. Eric Carmi is actually the starter for Buffalo, our former backup goaltenders. We start our backup. Calvin Pickard. Skinner and Eichel score on him. And at the end of the game, we do lose 2-1. Unfortunately, we start off with a loss. So I expect Thatcher Demko to start against the Flyers. I'm going to slow sim this game as well. Alright, here we go, guys. It's the Philadelphia Flyers, the second of a back-to-back. We start off with a goal. Mike Hoffman scores on Mike Condon. Let's look at the second period. And oh no, there's actually Pickard played back-to-back games. So the AI, for some reason, does not want Thatcher Demko to play. I'm going to have to look at that. That's pretty bad. And we lose 4-1. Our backup goalie starts back-to-back. I see Thatcher Demko replace Pickard at the end of the game. Not sure why that happened. I'm going to sim up to the Toronto game and make sure that Demko is our starter as he should be. Alright, so Thatcher Demko is our starter. I'm not sure why Pickard played those first two games. It does not really make any sense. But one thing I'm going to check, I'm going to search for Nathan MacKinnon, who was a free agent. I definitely want to see where he went to in the NHL. Oh, wow. Nathan MacKinnon actually went to the Ottawa Senators. It's a 95 overall. $12.36 million for 6 years. That is an enormous contract. He's going to make over $70 million playing for Ottawa. I'm going to take a look quickly at Ottawa's team as well. I'm really curious to see how they're looking with Nathan MacKinnon. There you go, guys. So you got Sven Berchi with MacKinnon and Evgeny Dadonov. Brady Tkachuk on the second line with Schlappick and Vitaly Abramov. Logan Brown, Colin White, Derek Stepan, Chris Tierney, Drake Batherson, and Alex Formenton. Ottawa's forwards are disgusting. That is unbelievable. Look at that top four. Look at that top 9. I mean, even the whole top 12. That team's definitely got to be somebody to look out for. It's got the defense. Shabbat is in 90 with Brandstrom is in 84. Tanev, Schultz, Edler, and Zaitsev. And in goal, they have Philip Gustafson. So, man, Ottawa are going to be good this year. I'm going to check real quick. I want to see where a couple of the guys we had on our team went. So I'm going to look at Duclair and Charlie Coyle. Just curious to see where they ended up. So Duclair actually ended up with the New York Islanders. So interesting there. Gonna take a look at Charlie Coyle where he ended up. And Charlie Coyle is playing with the Edmonton Oilers. So the Oilers are definitely gonna have a good center depth with McDavid, Draisaitl, and Charlie Coyle. So definitely gonna have to slow sit some games against the Ottawa Senators. And there we go. We actually play against the Ottawa Senators within the next week. We played them on October 25th. So next Tuesday, gonna sim up to that game and hopefully get ourselves a win against that stacked team with Nathan MacKinnon. Playing against the Maple Leafs, we lose 4-1. So starting off, not too good in this year. 4-1 win against the Rangers and a 7-6 loss against the Predators. Wow. Alright, facing off against Nathan MacKinnon and the Ottawa Senators. I never thought I'd say that. Period number 1, and Derek Stepan scores. We actually have Pickard starting again. I don't know why Demko is not playing. We actually get a goal here. Cretanis scores for them. Kadri and Fleury scores for us. We lose 5-3. So Carson Lambos, who's actually our elite potential draft pick, that may be his first goal. Abramov, White, and Formenton. I'm going to have to check for Lambos. I believe that's his first NHL goal. But yeah, no reason why our elite goaltender is just sitting on the bench and not even playing. It doesn't make any sense. So that was actually Carson Lambos, his second NHL goal. He already has 2 goals in 6 games as a defenseman's medium elite potential, 79 overall at 19 years old. One guy I'm definitely excited about. But for goaltending, I don't know what's going on here because Demko, I mean, he's played 3 games. Pickard has played 4. Pickard is 0-3 with a goals against average of 4.59. That's not looking good so far. So I switched Demko and Pickard once again. I just switched him from backup back to starter. Hopefully that fixes it because we're actually facing off against in another back-to-back weekend there against the Flames and the Hurricanes. Going to sim up a few more games and just see how it goes. Alright, so we actually won 3 of the last 4 games. And I'm just going to check to make sure that Demko is still our starting goaltender that he had a few more games under, and that he had a few more wins. We'll take a look at that. Goaltenders, there we go. Demko, 7 games played, and Picard 4. So that's more like it. I think that the AI will actually start our starting goaltender. I mean, starting our backup for all those games, including the back-to-back start the year, just put us in a bad spot right off the beginning. Hopefully that we can sort things out. Okay, so I mean, the team has won a bit more games now. We're actually at 500. We had a couple of big games there against the Panthers and the Islanders where we scored 8 goals each. Just got to limit the goals that we give up and try to score more goals at our end, and we'll be good to go. Oh, so the Wild are actually offering us a Dano Chara. He's still playing in the NHL. He is 45 years old at a 79 overall. Wow. Not going to take Chara, but yeah, pretty crazy. He's still playing now with the Minnesota Wild. I'm actually going to make a couple of line changes here. Going to move Lambos to the second defensive pairing. He's actually now an 81 overall, so really glad we hold on to him. I'm going to put Johnsson back on the first line. I had moved Hoffman there. He was concerned about his ice time, and I just wanted to make him happy. So now that things are back to normal, I think I'm going to make those changes. As for Sammy Blair, right now he has 18 points in 24 games. Wenberg has 60 points, so they're very similar. Hoffman has 16. Johnsson has 17. Kako is struggling so far. I mean, he only has 14 points, but hopefully we can get that up a bit. Zadina actually has 25 points. He's our leading scorer at the moment. I'm going to try moving Wenberg up. That actually moves the chemistry down. If I put Zadina there, there's not a whole lot more I could do. See if I put Guryanov or Hoffman. I'm going to just keep it going. Hopefully Kako can get out of that low slump and start producing more. He's actually on the first power play unit as well. I'm going to give it a few more weeks, and if by the end of December, start of January, the team is not starting to win more, might have to do a trade or something as we get a 4-0 win against the Jackets, but a 5-1 loss against the Blues. I'm going to give it a few more weeks here. Hopefully we can get out of this slump we're in. We're losing a lot of games, 10, 12, and 5. We're actually under 500s. I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, our team on paper is really, really good. I'm very surprised as to what's going on here. Alright, so we actually have a trade here. So Florida gets Gustav Nyquist from Vegas for it seems a prospect in a 4th round pick. So the team has gotten better. We now have 52 points right in the middle of the Atlantic Division. We are winning some games. We are losing some games. And, I mean, the games we are losing are pretty close. They're almost all 1-goal games. Here are 6-1 wins against the Avalanche. Going to see how the team is doing here right on the new year, January 1st. Alright, so Philip Zadina is doing very good. He has 43 points, 34 assists, 48 games. Hoffman has 35 points, Wenberg 34, Johnsson and Hamilton at 31, Bled, Kadri 28, 26. So nobody is like doing crazy numbers apart from these top guys. Kako only has 24 points. That's a bit concerning. Right now. As we look at the rest of the team. As for goaltending, Thatcher Demko 19-13. Decent numbers, but not anything too crazy, unfortunately. I'm going to see how the AHL team is doing as well. Maybe we can call up somebody to straighten up our bottom 6. I'm going to take a look at that. And Gustav Zharkov is just going off. 46 points in 48 games. That is crazy. I'm going to take a look at the lines and see if anybody maybe is in the 80s overall, low 80s that I could call up. Maybe, again, straighten up our bottom 6. So, not looking like that's the case. I mean, they're in the mid-70s. Maybe these two guys can grow and hopefully make the jump next year. Let's see where Philip Broberg is. He's actually a 77 overall at the moment. That's good to see. So Halifax Battalion right now in the AHL, they are 26-15-7. They're doing really good. They are 3rd in the division, 1 point away from 2nd. So I'm going to try something right now. I'm going to try putting Zadina on the first line. Try just stacking up that first line. Maybe that's going to help out Kako. Going to try that for a few weeks, and if it doesn't work, we can always change it around again. So a pretty big trade went down. Winnipeg sends a first and Enrod to so LA gets a first for the Kaiser and DeMello from the Winnipeg Jets there. McMichael actually goes to Nashville with a couple of picks for Victor Arvidsson to the Capitals. So a pretty big trade right there. Nashville has fired their coach Ken Agostini, so it looks like it's not going too well in Nashville right now. Wow, it's a pretty big trade here. So Cahoon to Tampa, 85 overall. Pittsburgh gets a first, Wayne Simmons, a third, and Duncan Keith. That's a pretty big package there for a trade. Oh my, that's a blockbuster. Bowen Byram goes to Anaheim from Colorado for Shattenkirk Henrique in a second. Colorado, what are you doing? You're trading for two aging players. You give up one of the better defensive prospects in the NHL. I don't understand this trade. How do you give up Bowen Byron for Shattenkirk and Henrique in a second, not even a first? That confuses me. Oh, there we go. So we get actually a decent trade offer. Hurricanes are trying to get Dougie Hamilton for Toivo Teravainen. He's 86 overall, 28 years old. He's a left winger. He's only under contract for one more year, though. That's the thing. So no guarantee we could re-sign him. But 35 points in 59 games. He's a 60 to 70 point scorer every year. He's very consistent. We would be swapping picks. So I will give them a third. We will actually get a second for the upcoming draft for Dougie Hamilton. We would save up on $1.5 billion of cap space. I mean, he is one of our better defensemen. But maybe Broberg would be ready to make the jump next year. He's making $7 million for another 3 years. He is 29 years old, where Teravainen is 28 years old. I mean, as much as I would want Teravainen, the thing is that defense is where we're struggling. I don't think giving away one of our top defensemen would be ideal in this situation. I think we got to hold on to the defense. Forwards, our scoring, I think defense is where we got to straighten up. As Zadina has 50 points in 59 games, only 13 goals. He just passes the puck all the time. Great to see. Here we are about a week before a trade deadline. Our team status is actually contender. Change the trade block a bit, see if we can get some trade offers leading up to March 4th and see if there's anything decent that we can get. And there's a trade. The Honors get a first and a second from Chicago for Keith Yandel, a third, and Ben Sherrod. Wow. So we're offered Tyler Bertuzzi from the Red Wings for Hayden Fleury. But once again, just like I mentioned earlier, we're going to hold on to our defensive players. We're going to hold on to our defensemen. Bertuzzi is having a really good year. So 51 points. His career high is 63. He is on an expiring contract, so I don't think this is the way to go. Give up one of our better defensemen. I'm going to say no to the Red Wings. The Avalanche are actually offering us Kasperi Kapanen, who was with our team at the beginning. He actually scored our first ever goal in the franchise mode. Okay, so he's 81 at 26 years old. Nishushkin is 80 at 27. We would give up Alavara, which is actually a 51 overall. We would get a draft pick. Kapanen is having a decent year there. So he's actually having has 36 points in 63 games. Where in Nishushkin, we signed him in free agency, only has 8 points. I think this is really a no-brainer. I'm going to take Kapanen. Welcome back. The guy who scored our first ever goal in the Allied Navigators history is making his return in year number 4. Kasperi Kapanen, welcome back to the squad, buddy. I'm actually going to try to make a few more changes in the line. It's going to move. I'm going to have an all former Leafs line. Janssen, Kadri, and Kapanen. Let's see how that works out. We're going to put Hartman on the forward line. It's actually an 82 now. Wenberg with Zadina and Guryanov. We're going to try to have a bit more balance in the team. Hoffman, Blaine, Kako for our top pairing, for our top line. As for defense, I mean, defense is looking really good. Oh my god, Carson Lamos is an 86 overall. Where did this come from? The guy just skyrocketed in overall. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I mean, for a medium elite, not even a franchise player. I mean, he was what, a low 80s at the start of the year. Wow, that is actually insane. He's now with a plus one. He's 87 overall. That is fantastic news. Carson Lambos is just an absolute stud. Wow. Oh, here is a big trade, guys. Oh, wow. That is a blockbuster and a half. Montreal Canadiens get Matt Duchene, a couple of picks, Brian Boyle, for Jonathan Drouin, Ryan Pollock, and a 7th to Nashville. So it's funny how Duchene was linked to the Habs in rumors that he would sign there in the offseason. They gave up Drouin for Duchene, an 87 overall for an 86. I mean, Drouin is younger, so I'm not sure if I really like that trade as a Habs fan, if it would happen in real life, but that's pretty crazy. Tristan Jarry goes to the Islanders for Brendan Gallagher. What's with all these former Habs players moving around? Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks for a couple of picks. What a crazy what a crazy trade deadline. And now here's a trade. They actually want our captain Sammy Blais for Toivo Teravainen. So right now, Sammy Blais, he has 37 points, 26 years old, 84 overall. Teravainen is 86 overall at 28, so he has 40 points, but he is a couple of years older. Harman is doing pretty good. He has 31 points on the third or fourth line for us. And Brett Pesce, who hasn't played a game. I'm going to say no to the Carolina Hurricanes. Crazy trades all over the place. We have an OT win against the Buffalo Sabres. Okay, I think we're going to be all right to sim up the rest of the year. Back-to-back wins there in the doubleheader. A win against the Maple Leafs. That's good to see. Maple Leafs usually had trouble against him in this franchise mode. Playing against the Ottawa Senators, we beat McKinnon and the Sens 5-1. Another back-to-back there. As we unfortunately lose 4 games in the past 5 in the past 6. I don't know what this team is doing. I mean, on paper, they're very, very good, but I don't even know if we're going to make the playoffs. Win against the Vegas Golden Knights. Win against the Canucks. We need to win almost every game now. Win against the Panthers. That's 3 wins in a row. 4 games in a row with a point. A big win against the Ducks there. So we're actually 4, 5, 6 points out of the playoffs. Not looking good so far. We're 5 points behind. A big 7-1 win against the Capitals. Playing against the Habs. I'm going to stop it right here. We're actually going to see if we made the playoffs at the end of the year. I think we probably just fall short. We reached 40 wins. Let's see here for the Atlantic Division. If we're in or if we're not. We're out of the playoffs. We're actually 2 points away. We finish off the year with 4 wins in a row, 6 wins in the past 8 games, 7 in the past 9. Just not enough. We struggled a lot, so that really sucks. I thought this year we'd have a good chance to make the playoffs, but for some reason, just simulation didn't go our way. Hoffman finishes with 68 points, matching his jersey number. So there we go. I'm glad to see this. Kako and Zadina really took a good leap in the second half of the year and produced 65 points for Zadina, 60 for Kako. Both reached 20 points. Hoffman with 36 goals. Wenberg, Janssen, Blais, Hamilton all have in the mid-50s. 20 goals for these two guys. Kapanen there, 47 points. Kadri with 44. Fleury 41. Harman with 37. Gurianov with 31. So the team produced. Lambos finished there with 7 points in minus 12. Let's look at goaltending. 34, 23, and 8. 3 shutouts. So decent numbers, but probably not Vezina worthy like last year. I'm going to take a look at the entire league. As for the league, Mrazek, Varlamov, and Blackwood all had 40 wins. Blackwood 40, 16, and 6 with 6 shutouts. He's my pick to win the Vezina. That's an unreal year for the New Jersey Devils. Varlamov with the Blackhawks. Mrazek is with the Oilers. Rask is with the Blue Jackets. Markstrom with the Rangers. Kemper with the Coyotes. So a lot of goaltenders have moved around. Bennington is still with the Blues. There's Thatcher Demko right there. Vasilevsky still with the Lightning. Is Carey Price still in Montreal? He is. He's down to an 88 overall at 35 years old. Let's get defenseman for the entire league. And John Klingberg, 82 points, a plus 28. Very good year for him over in Dallas. Carlson and Subban still among the top. Let's look at all skaters. And Tyler Seguin, he always seems to sim well. 108 points. Kessel, 96. JVR with 96 points, making $10 million. Wow. Austin Matthews with 93. Hall, Pasta, Scheifele, Kuznetsov. 5 players with 93 points. Stamkos there. Marchand, Keller. Sidney Crosby still producing at 35 years old. 48 goals and 90 points. He's an 87, matching his jersey number. McKinnon, only 86 points is in 95 overall. That's kind of weird. 96 overall for McDavid, 85 points. Let's take a look at goals. So Tyler Seguin, 56, 55, 53. So Seguin actually has the Rocket Richard. Pacioretty has more goals than Crosby. And Ovechkin, there's Maxim Smirnov from the Panthers. McDavid there with 44. Ovechkin actually has 40 goals. I want to see what he has in his career. So 852 goals. Very close to Wayne Gretzky's record of 894. So he's actually about 42 goals away. If he plays another year, Ovechkin has a very good chance to break that record. That would be absolutely crazy. He still has a year left, still has 2 years left on his contract, so it's very possible. Let's look at power play goals and power play points. So Tyler Seguin with 23 power play goals. Let's take a look at the rookies. Rookie skaters there, Cole Lind with the Canucks, 57 points. Michael McLeod, Isaac Cook, Kaltinainen there, Antti Berg. Those are your rookie skaters. Martin Kaut there for the Avalanche. As for rookie goaltenders, see if there's anyone that stands out. Michael DiPietro and Stuart Skinner had pretty good years there. Gustafsson with the Senators as a goaltender, 34, 24, and 5. Let's look at the standings of the entire NHL now. So once again, we fall short of the playoffs. Toronto, Florida, and Buffalo are actually in for the Atlantic. The Devils, 117 points. Capitals, Blue Jackets, and Flyers and Rangers for the wild cards. As for the Central, the Stars with 109 points, 51 wins. Blackhawks and Blues. Pacific, Coyotes, 115 points, 51 wins. Oilers, Golden Knights, Flames, and Kings. The President's Trophy is going to the New Jersey Devils. Devils and Coyotes 1 and 2. That's insane. As for the AHL, I want to see where Halifax finish. Actually out of the playoffs as well. So that sucks. Let's look at the points. They do have one more game to go. I'm really hoping one of these guys can jump into the NHL next year. If Zarkov is anywhere near 80, he's probably going up. Tony Ilanin, he's 74. Harvey Pinard, they all have pretty good years in the AHL. Philip Broberg, I'm really hoping he can go up, as well as Denisov. Those guys are elite potential, but just not growing too well so far. For goaltenders, Allmark had a pretty decent year, 31, 22, and 6, 10 shutouts. Very good numbers there in Halifax. One thing I am interested to see is our draft pick. Maybe we can get very lucky and get a good pick in the draft or out of the playoffs. So, never know. Might have a lottery pick by miracle that could happen. Let's take a look at who is the Stanley Cup champion as well. There you go, guys. The Chicago Blackhawks have won the Stanley Cup. They were a very good team. They were pretty much a dynasty in the 2010s, and they're back in the 2020s. Hershey Bears win the Calder Cup. Alright, so there's the draft lottery. We're actually picking 15. Vancouver moves up from 5 to 1. They have the first overall draft pick. As for retired players, Joe Thornton's calling it a career after 43 years old. Ended up with 1,690 points, 1,224 assists. That is insane. Eric Stahl there, Vanek, Brent Burns at 38. Chara finally calls it a career at 46 years old after over 1,800 games. Joe Thornton was 106 games away from 2,000. That's unbelievable. Let's look at goaltenders if there's anyone notable. So it looks like Craig Anderson, Yaroslav Halak have called it a career. Chad Johnson's retired as well. We thank him for his service with Halifax. We're going to have to call up Lavallée in the next season. So here's the draft class looking pretty stacked at the start there. Got guys that are medium elite potential. And after that, so a few more elites there. Medium top 4. A lot of guys that our scouts are recommending. A lot of guys that aren't scouting. Kobe Reynolds there. He's ranked at number 20. He's actually guaranteed medium elite as a right winger. So that's the guy I'm going to pin right now. Might be the guy we're going after at number 15 in the draft. So that's going to do it for the episode. Another disappointment at the end of the year. This year was pretty much a roller coaster. Another disappointing end to the season. A lot of very close losses. A lot of OT and shootout losses. We went weeks with wins of like 7 to 8 goals and would give up 7 or 8 goals. So just worried about Demko's rating. Hopefully it can still go up. Hopefully their AHL guys, some of them are ready to make the jump. So we really need to get our bottom forwards improved on that. So we really got to improve our bottom 9 of the team. We really got to improve our bottom 6. Hopefully Kako can grow as well and have a breakout season in the next year. Mike Hoffman, 68 points, matching his jersey number. That's great to see with 36 goals. Nice to see Hoffman is still producing. In the next episode, we're going to go into the draft and the offseason, all that good stuff. Definitely want to build ourselves a playoff team. I want to win. I want to get a Stanley Cup. Can we do it in the next episode? Stay tuned for that when it comes out to find out. Do leave a like if you enjoy. I would appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new so you don't miss out on any of this content. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.